Were you into comics as a kid? Or no?
Always.
Tell me, what was your go-to comic as a kid?
X-Men.
Fuck yeah.
Bottom line.
Oh, come on, man.
Bottom line.
He's so funny because Avengers got so popular with the movies, but I was, especially if they went versus each other, I was all X-Men. I liked Wolverine before I knew I was going to grow up short. I thought maybe I'd still grow. I resonated with him. I thought maybe I liked him when I was still growing. Everything about it. I don't know if it's before your time. Have you ever heard of the Mutant Massacre?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Just slaying. They crucified poor Angel in the sewers of Manhattan.
Is that the X-Men 97 thing or is that something different?
I believe it's something different.
Okay.
It follows after that.
It is it? Okay.
The Mutant Massacre was one of my favorite storylines where they're just wiping out. They're wiping out mutants. They got these guys called the Marauders. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course. They did a little bit of that in Logan. They introduced them a little
they
bit.
did. Because the main bad guy had the arm a little bit. And Logan was done very well.
It was amazing.
Out of the superhero movies, which is your favorites? Do you watch them?
I watched them all. I've seen them all.
Okay.
I think for me, Logan is my favorite, but it's a bittersweet because it's just so tragic.
It is depressing.
Yeah, but as an acting piece and like for somebody who grew up on X-Men, I mean, like that was as close as they could get to that comic series because the comic series is even darker than that.
It's funny,
like with Crazy Hulk. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, all that type of stuff. And I'd say that one, but I mean, Civil War was really good too. But then like, I was bummed that they killed Crossbones the way they did because he was the one who was supposed to snipe Captain America, right? Was in the comics, isn't Captain America at a podium giving a speech about, and then a Crossbones shoots him?
Is that right with Civil War?
I'll check.
But I'm not as up on I mean, with the Civil War storyline with the comics.
I just remember looking at that comic when it first came out, and just the picture to actually see Captain America getting shot and killed. It floored me. I had to close the book and I sat back in my chair and I went, "What have they done?" I couldn't believe it.
It's our buddy Frank Grillo.
Yeah, I think he's right. Yeah.
Kross Jones.
Yeah.
Kross.
That was it. Yeah,
that was it.
I was like, "What the hell?" It was so dark, and that kind of like sent things into a spiral with that. So
I found those comics very dark back in the day, killing left and right. Even like when I was talking about with the Mutant Massacre, you get characters that they go to dark places that normally don't. You got Colossus, where he's going versus this girl that's shooting out like ninja stars and they're piercing his skin. He gets the neck, and all of a sudden you see the words crack, and he says, "Tell Harpoon I'm coming for him next," something like that. Oh, it's that's not Colossus. That's Wolverine. That's anybody but Colossus. He's more of a gentle giant. You know?
Yep.
But I love that stuff. I love how deep they got into the characters. I was so into the X-Men and also and Punisher. The Punisher War Journal back in the day when it was him and Microchip. Now, Microchip was this guy in the van. He was the tech guy. That's why I got so excited during the series when they had him come along and
the Daredevil series?
I believe it was the Punisher, the first season.
Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have that new one. They said we'll see if it's true or not. But apparently, the Disney Plus Daredevil is supposed to be even more violent than the Netflix one.
I just saw the new trailer that dropped today.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Solid.
The directing style too. It's dark and gritty. The mood it's set. It's all there. So
I enjoyed the Netflix series with both I think they got Daredevil right. Mm-hmm. You know, we forget about that Ben Affleck one. But even though I kind of enjoyed it when it came out, I don't know if I just have a love of it, but even though he could have done a little more sit-ups for that, Ben Affleck, you know what I mean?
He could have done more.
He could have done something for that though. He looked better in the Batman movies.
Did you watch Penguin?
I loved Penguin.
Penguin maybe is the best, aside from Punisher. For me, Penguin is the best show I've seen from like a comic book to a series.
It's amazing. Even Ray Longo liked it. Because I tried to get him to watch stuff. He's like, "Oh, I'm watching that. I'm a grown-up." I go, "Longo." I go, "Give it a try." He loved it. He fucking loved it. He was gutted at the end when what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I like about that series, excuse me, is you wouldn't think that the way they kind of like rebooted the character where he's got a limp, but he's looking like a mobster. But at the end, and it's not really spoilers, or maybe it is spoilers, but they're telling him to clean up his act if he's gonna be hanging out with the high society. He's resembling the fucking Penguin at the end.
Yes.
He's got that thing on and he's
Top hat.
It's him. I thought they were just staying in this direction, and he's awesome. It's a different take on him, but they somehow brought it back to the character that we grew up with.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was cool. Street gangster. It's a sort of like you were saying, he's masquerading as high society so he can blend in, right?
Oh man. I thought that was done so well. And what did you think of the Robert Pattinson Batman, the Batman?
I didn't hate on it, to be honest. I think that I've seen that guy in a lot of stuff, and I knew he's a great actor. He's really good. And he's like a chameleon. He blends into the roles a lot of times. Like sometimes, I don't know if it was an apparatus, but I saw him in one movie where he was like really heavy set and like didn't even resemble the guy that you would see in a lot of mainstream films. So when I watched it, I loved it. And finally, they introduced the detective side of Batman for once. Finally. So I was psyched about that.
I thought it maybe went a little bit too. It could have ended a little bit stronger. Like there was a scene when he was in like the rubble, and I thought it was going to end something like that. But it kind of felt like it got dragged on a little bit. But I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah,
me too. I thought Robert Pattinson killed it, and I like this. I like the Nirvana soundtrack to it. I think it fit the Under the Bridge. I think it just fit the tone of it. I like the fight scenes. How about the fight scenes? The fight scenes are phenomenal.
Yeah, awesome.
I love the Nolan films, but the Dark Knight, some of those fight scenes here and there, they weren't the best. Even though I love the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight was phenomenal. Yeah. I know mine, and I'm going to say it's the most underrated superhero movie. I feel that doesn't get enough respect or attention. I'm building this up.
You are.
You know what I'm going to say.
I do.
Dredd. Not Judge Dredd. Not with Stallone. I'm not hating on Stallone this episode. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. But Dredd with Carl Urban. So good. Did you see it?
Of course. I watched both. I loved both of them. But the one
That's funny. The first with Stallone too?
Oh, yeah. You betrayed it all.
He had the helmet off the whole time.
I know.
Listen, as a kid, I liked it. Yeah. I seen that when I was in my teens too. Or maybe I was a little bit older, but I liked it. I did like it when I seen it. Yeah. It came out at the same time as like Batman 3 or something. I remember that. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. I remember Rob Snyder. I remember reading a bit when he goes, all I'll tell you is there's going to be a lot of little bat pieces all over the place, something like that. But then I think Batman killed it in the box office. But I loved Dredd. I watched it the other day. I think that was about as perfect as a movie, as far as a comic book movie as you can get. I thought Carl Urban, without taking his helmet off, did an amazing acting job. He was Dredd. He did, from his snarl to just talking to mama, I'm the law. I can't do it. I can't even pretend to do it. But it is so good. Yeah. And the rookie, the girl that's the psychic it's her assessment that day. The transition with that girl. Remember in the beginning when he's like, "Are you ready? You don't look ready." She's like, "Oh, it's the adrenaline." And what about towards the end? Man. Right? Man.
All the crooked judges, they turn on him.
It's so funny because they did so much with not so little, but like it was compressed to this apartment building, much like the movie I'm thinking of. There's a Japanese or a Korean.
The Raid?
The Raid!
Yeah.
Korean movie.
I think it is.
Okay. It's got that kind of feel of it where you're trapped in, they were trapped in the mega city one, the complex, peach trees. And, Mama, the head of the gang that just took out all the other gangs, is not letting them leave. And and towards the end of it, I'm not to get all over the place with the rookie, I just love the transformation where you've seen everything by the end of this movie, whatever it is, by the 2 hours, they're about to get into something. He's like, "Are you ready?" And he's like, "You look ready." And it was just, dude.
It's great.
I'm not gonna have to touch my nipples, but they're hard right now. Kevin, I love that fucking movie. He's young enough. He's in The Boys.
Yeah,
they could do a sequel
easily.
It was done so well. I'm gonna make
You
a
know, the
petition.
3D in that movie. Did you guys see it in the theater?
I
I
did.
did.
Did you see it in 3D?
Yep.
It was some of the best 3D I think that maybe since Avatar.
It was really good when they're going through the windows and the glasses come off
Oh,
their face.
Yeah.
hit the slow mo,
Yeah.
skinning him alive, and
Yep.
they hit him with the slow mo, so they let it drag out, and then at the end, fuck man,
Underrated.
he's a bad ass. No, I can't say enough about that movie.